Okay, on to our keynote. Stuart MacDonald is a professional magician and has been performing his mind-bending, one-of-a-kind magic for audiences all over the globe for over 20 years. And in fact, looking at his achievements and accolades, I have to go off script here because it reads like Michael Buffer introducing the title holder in a boxing match. So, he is the man who fooled the legendary Penn and Teller on the award-winning show Fool Us. He is a prime-time People's Award Choice winner twice over, and winner of the FISM Championship, and the reigning, defending North American champion and U.S. champion in the World Championships of Magic. Here to help us understand the magic of continuous improvement, Stuart MacDonald.
Thank you very much. I always like to get my show started with a bang, and I left my prop back in Michigan. And so the tech crew was great. They scrambled, and I always know at these convention halls they have junk drawers, and they found the prop I had forgotten. It was a balloon. So let's just get this thing going. Isn't it nice to not have politics for a while and to gather? This is great. I guess this balloon is from an old convention. Vote for Nixon. All right, let's get started with a bang, shall we? Here we go. Ready? Come on, you can do better than that. That's magic. Good. Now, you're probably wondering, what is a magician doing at this transportation conference here in Bismarck, North Dakota? Well, I have a very interesting story to tell. I use lean processes and continuous improvement to invent magic, and I'm going to teach you how I do it. We are going to do a lean process that I use live on stage with your help. We're going to get some volunteers from the audience, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You're even going to learn how to do a trick. Now, if you have any of these postcards that are at your table, hang on to them. It's going to be very important that we use those later toward the end. But enough about that. Let's talk about my story that makes me interesting. I was working for a company called NBC in Flint, Michigan. I was selling airtime, and I hated the job. It was terrible. The management was awful. I'd worked there for a year and a half, and I went to management and I said, I want out right now. Get me out of here today. And I'll never forget Mary for saying this. She said, Stuart, I'm surprised you lasted this long. 20 people have been sitting in your chair in the last 4 years. You lasted the longest. Congratulations. That's how bad that job was. But it sparked something in me that led me here today. I decided at that moment that I was going to rekindle my competitive magic career and get into the World Championships of Magic, and it's called FISM. Now, FISM is probably the hardest juried performing arts competition in the world that you've never heard of. That's right. It's a European organization, but if you live in China, if you live in North and South Korea, if you live in any country in Europe or Russia, you know exactly what this competition is. It's been around for 85 years, and it's more popular than The World's Got Talent, America's Got Talent. Because if you do well here, you get to go all over the world. And that's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to win it. I just wanted to qualify, compete in it, and have the opportunity to perform around the world. Well, it just so happens when I made this decision, 6 months later, there was going to be the regional world qualifier in the United States, and it was going to be in, St. Louis. So I get there, I performed my act in front of a bunch of my friends, and I took a 1980s act and I updated it, and I was sure I was going to do well. I knew I wasn't going to win, but I thought for sure I'd qualify. Now, when I got there, this is going to sound really weird, but I saw faces that I had never seen before. There was this busload of these 20-year-old South Korean young 20-year-olds that filled the competition. They called it after the convention the Korean tsunami. These kids were so good that we were calling them wizards. As a matter of fact, there was this one guy who was in the stage competition with me. He did a very unusual act. He produced cards, they fell on the floor, and he almost knocked his table over, and everybody was like really feeling bad for the guy. And then a button appeared on his table, and it was a rewind button. And he did his entire act in fast reverse, flawlessly. It looked like you were watching somebody for real in a digital world, in a real world, and it was outstanding. 2,000 magicians give this guy a 3-minute standing ovation. And then I went on. Would you like to see a minute and a half of his act? Here it is. There we go. Yep. That was crazy. I went on, and the curtain hit my table, tangled up my string, and 2 minutes of my act were completely trashed. Now, I'm not going to show you that, but you'll see just how unqualified I was. So, here we go. This is a minute and a half of my routine. No, I had just shown that mirror front and back, so just for perspective. It pains me to watch that thing. But I have to share with you where I got started. So that was my starting point. And after that performance, I was the equivalent of that to the magic community. Remember that lady that was the break dancer in the Olympics? That was me. 2,000 magicians and producers from all over the world saw me as that. Now, I had 3 years to re-energize and get ready for the next qualifier. And where was the FISM World Championships of Magic going to be? In South Korea, where all of the wizards come from. So it was going to be a tough competition. And I knew that there was no way I was skillful enough to compete against those people. But I ended up getting a new job at a manufacturing company. And as you know, that manufacturing has a lot of lean and continuous improvement, Six Sigma, Shingo, all those things. And I got chosen to learn it. And I thought, wait a minute, this is kind of like theater. Why don't I apply those principles to magic and see what happens? And this is when I learned something. I learned that you don't have to have the skill. The skill comes from within. Because all of it is just relentless refinement, trying to achieve that last 2% and then eliminating all the waste, just like you do in your jobs every day. Now, I want to talk for a second about those 2%. 2% can best be described in the Olympics at the 100-meter dash. All of those very qualified athletes start out at the gate and they run as fast as they can, and when they get to the finish line, they are all within 100th of a second of each other. So that last 2% is within that range. That winning is equal to the entire contest itself. So I wanted to focus on that last 2%. I wanted to work harder than anybody else. And as I worked harder and I dug harder, things started to happen. I started learning faster. I started iterating. I started sharing my act with people online. I would have Facebook Live rehearsals, and I would have 250 people watching me in my living room, fail or not, and then in the end, I would ask for suggestions. And it worked. 3 years later, I go to the competition. Now remember, everybody thinks of me as that breakdancer. Not only did I win the competition, I swept it. I won the international champion, I won the national champion, I won the originality award, I won an award that I don't even know what it is, but they haven't given away for 15 years. It's around my neck there. And then the People's Choice Award. They didn't even have to count the votes. The box was so filled with my name in it. That's when I learned the power of lean and continuous improvement is real. And anybody can do it. And even if you don't think you have the skill, those methods bring the skill out in you. That's when I got the call. I got the call from Penn and Teller's producers. And this is where it's really freaky, because I had been really working hard on improving my act. And when they called, something strange happened. I decided to take that mirror off of the table and make it a standalone mirror, that one that you saw me produce money out of. And when I did that, it became an entirely different illusion. But it was 30 days until I was going to be on that television show in front of my idols, people that I watched. They had television specials like David Copperfield when I was in high school. I was like, oh, I love Penn and Teller. These guys are great. They're the bad boys of magic. And I'm going to be performing in front of them. But there's no way I'm going to fool them because I haven't tested the new version of this trick. So I had to come up with a plan. And the plan was genius because it was so simple. I was going to film my act from every conceivable angle 100 times in 30 days. And every time I made a change, I would call that 1% better. So at the end of 30 days, my act, in my mind, would be 100% better than what it was 30 days prior. And I had these mason jars with pennies to keep me honest. Those jars did two things. It visually showed me that I was progressing, because as I would make a piece of change, I would put it into the other empty mason jar. But if I saw that the mason jar wasn't getting any fuller on the other side, it meant that I wasn't working hard enough. I wasn't digging for those last 2% or those last 2 cents. So I kept doing it until all 100 pennies were in the other jar. And did it work? You be the judge.
Prepare to be amazed by the classic magic of Stuart MacDonald.
Stuart MacDonald.
Thank you. Thank you
Great
very
to
much.
have you here.
Here are the whimsical workings of Stuart MacDonald.
Do you think you can pull a Fool Us trophy behind the mirror?
I don't know. That's pretty difficult, but I've been working hard on it for quite a while.
And then Teller just turned to me and gave me, I think, the crux of the whole thing. When he turned to me and said, boy, I should have watched closer. We got so carried away by the plot that we missed a really important element of this that would have given the whole thing away. I don't know what that element is, so you fooled us.
Look at that face. Wow. Yeah, that blew my mind. Now, every magician in the world watches that show. And so I had my dream set. This all happened within a matter of months. I blew everybody away in the qualifier. I win Penn and Teller Fool Us. And the next year, I'm going to be in Busan, South Korea, competing against the best magicians in the world. So we fly there. And the first magician comes on stage. And he produces birds with one hand, blows smoke, and there's a bird there. Fire floats around him. And then in the end, all of his birds turn to blood red. And my friend Eric, who's also a dove magician, he's not in the same competition as me. He's in a different one. He's crying. He said, that's the best magic I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything so good. And I said, he's in my category. We all wanted to quit. Would you like to see a minute and a half of his routine? Here it is. Watch this. Right? Crazy. That's the last video. But I needed to share with you these videos so you can understand the quality of magic that you don't see very often. That guy didn't even place. He got 5th. I got 8th, but I got the top 10. And all top 10 magicians, remember that 100-meter dash? We were all in that last 2%. And every single one of us got picked to go on a world tour. Right after that, I had a contract handed to me to stay in Seoul, South Korea, for the next 6 weeks. I couldn't because I had a real job. But then I got to go to Athens, Greece. I got to go to Sweden. I got to go to Italy. I got to go to the UK. Even Shanghai, China, in November of 2019, right at the beginning when everybody was getting sick. Yeah, then the pandemic hit, right? But anyway, it's a really interesting set of career choices that I made that led me to get to where we are here today. And I'm going to share with you my lean process, and we're going to start doing it right now. We're going to get somebody up on stage in a second. But first, I want to tell you how I do it. Step 1 is very simple. We're going to eliminate the unnecessary. Step 2, we're going to iterate and improve. And step 3, we fail fast and we learn faster. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do the standard pick a card trick, and we're going to lean it and we're going to improve it live for everybody here. All I need is a volunteer. And I need you to go through this curtain right over here. That's where the steps are. There's somebody there waiting for you. I just need, how about this person from the table? Yeah, you have the lanyard on. Oh, everybody has a lanyard. The young lady with the brown hair, yeah, with the long sleeve. Yeah, let's give her a big round of applause of encouragement as she comes right through here. There you go. Watch your way up the steps. We don't want you to trip up. Hey, make your way over here. Stand right here, center stage. Look at all your colleagues. Yeah, right over the trap door. Right there. That's good. All right. Hi, what's your name? Lexus. Nice to meet you. You have a nice platform, Lexus. Lexus, you and I are going to perform the world's longest card trick. Are you prepared? Well, Lexus doesn't know this, but she can't tell you that she is part of an underground group of magicians here in Bismarck that they know one trick so well that nobody in the world can do it. And Lexus is one of those people, correct? Yes, you are. She's about to show us her trick. So take the cards out of the box for me. Nice job. I don't know how you do it. That's the trick. Wasn't that good? It's a great trick because I don't know how you take the cards out of such a small box. That's the engineer in you, isn't it? Just comparing. So, all right. Lexus, I want you to take the cards, take a look at them, make sure they're real, there's nothing phony about them. They're all there? Great. I'll take them from you. Now, I haven't been performing magic that long since the pandemic, since I was a non-essential performer. So hopefully we'll get this right. I'm just going to spread the cards out. Pick any card you want, and I'll tell you what it is. Wait a second. I got to turn them around. I already know. I have to practice more. Okay. All right, here we go. Pick any card at all. It's that COVID shot. Tell you what. You take the cards. You pick any card that you want. Have you got it? Great. Put the cards in my hand. You keep your card. I'm going to give you some instructions. Now, while you're holding onto that card, I want you to draw your attention to this paper-clipped and folded card. We're going to keep it on the table right here, and we're not going to tell you what we're going to do with it. It's just going to mess with your mind. And we have a pen. I want you to take this pen, and I want you to put your name, big and bold, on the face of the card, not the back of the card, the face of the card, so everybody can see it. And show the camera, and hopefully the camera will pick it up. I'm not going to take a look. When you're done, just let me know. You're done. Okay, I'll take the pen. Very good. And I'll take the card. That is still your card, yes? Okay. We'll lose it somewhere in the middle of the pack. Like magic, Lex's card has risen to the top of the pack. Is that your card? How about that? That's not the trick. That's not the trick. It's the world's longest card trick. We're going to take your card, and we're going to put it in my pocket right here for safekeeping. Hold out your hand like this. Put your other hand on top of the cards like you're praying. Very good. This is so cool. My magic wand. Your card is going to come out of my pocket, and it's going to land on top of the deck. Whew. Keep your hands together. There's a two-phase part of the trick. Keep them together. Lexus, is that your card? That's her card. How about that? That's amazing. That's not the trick. That's not the trick. Look, we're going to make all the cards vanish. Do you feel like they're gone? No? Well, actually, they've been gone for the last 2 minutes. Show everybody what's in your hand. A block of glass. How about that? That's not the trick. That's not the trick. Wait a second. Look, the pen is also glass. We have a problem. Oh, we have a card trick to do. I'll take these props. I need a deck of cards. I have a spare deck of playing cards in my pocket. Could you go ahead and grab it right out of this pocket right here? You got them? Great. I'll take the cards. You take that. Say stop whenever you like. Stop. Right there. Go ahead. Watch. Your card is gone. It is leaping through the air, and it has landed in my pocket. Yep, that's your card. Hey, so trustworthy. Is that your card? That's her card. That's not the trick. That's not the trick. Look, we'll do it again. Say stop whenever you like. Stop. Okay, you push the card all the way in. Push it all the way in. Your card is leaping through the air. It has landed back in my pocket. But I'm not going to get it. You're going to get it. Go ahead. Grab the card. Is that your card? That's not the trick. It's the world's longest card trick. It's not the trick, but it's pretty good. Pretty good, huh? Okay, I'm going to take your card, and I'm going to push it into the deck like this, and watch. Watch. All the cards are now gone, and only your card remains. It's not the trick. It's not the trick. It's the world's longest card trick. I got a problem. I need a deck of playing cards to complete the trick. I happen to have a spare deck in my pocket. Could you go ahead and grab the card? Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Now, look, that's your card. Okay, are you enjoying yourself? Good. Okay. We're going to take your card, and we're going to lose it in the deck. Go ahead and push it in. Your card is leaping through the air, and it has landed under your shoe. Kidding. That would have been a miracle. But there's a better miracle out there, because on that table is a paper-clipped card that has been here the entire time. Take off the paperclip, and look, it matches the back of your card perfectly. And it is also your card. What? Come on, this is good stuff. Give it up for Alexis. Fantastic. There's your card, and you can make your way to the stairs. We have somebody waiting for you with a nice prize Cadillac and a pair of keys for you. Okay. Let's take a look at what just happened. We're going to do an after-action review. So what was the goal? The goal was to find the card. Did we find the card? Yes, we did. But what happened here? It took a little long, and it was a little convoluted, don't you think? I think so. So why was that? Well, there was too many tricks. There was lots of cards going in my pocket, and it was kind of hard to follow. So what did we learn? We learned that maybe if we made it less complicated, the trick could be better. And these are the processes that I use to create brand new effects. Now think about this. I told you that I didn't think I had the skill to create something new. But honestly, when you start digging in, when you start really looking hard at a process, the last 2% can reveal something brand new to you if you work hard enough at it. And that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to do a waste elimination, Tim Woods. Now, I've done a lot of it for you because we only have a certain amount of time. So these are all the things that I have in this act. There's jokes, the paper-clipped card that's folded, I've got a pen, I've got a glass block, I've got a glass pen, I've got a deck of cards that are coming and going from my pockets. What can I eliminate? I can eliminate all of that. But does that leave me with nothing? No, it doesn't, because we still have a trick, and we have a flow that we're going to work with. Step 1, get a volunteer. Step 2, the volunteer picks a card. Step 3, the magician loses a card. Step 4, the magician finds the card. Big applause. All right, those are our parameters. So where does the new trick get discovered? In risk. Now, we're not going to do a PFMEA. We're just going to take a look at each step and find out where those risk factors are. So we get a volunteer on stage. The volunteer could either be shy, they could be a heckler, they could be really difficult to work with. The fact of just coming up on stage in darkness, that can be a hazard and a risk. So maybe we want to look in that area a little harder. The next one is the volunteer picks a card. Well, the volunteer picks a card, and what if they forget the card? That's a possibility. Then the magician loses a card. Have I lost a card in the deck and forgot where it was? Yes, I have. So I've got to dig a little harder and figure out a way so that I don't have that problem. And then the magician finds the card. Now, I've had this happen. I find the card, and the person on stage, even though they've signed the card, I know it's their card. They say, that's not my signature, that's not my card. I've had people do that, and then you've got nowhere to go. They don't know that they look like a jerk on stage, but it's a risk, because then the audience doesn't feel like they're getting entertained. So how am I going to get into that? We're going to do a plan, do, check, and act. I'm going to plan out my trick, and I'm going to do it repeatedly over and over, and I'm going to check with the audience. Now, we've all heard of andon polls. In my world, an andon poll is people that are falling asleep, people that are checking their phone, people that are talking to each other, or booing. That way I know there's a problem with the act. And then I'll fix those problems, and then we start this cycle all over again. Now, this is kind of like a cooking show. I've already got a trick waiting in the wings for us. Like, we can't bake a cake in front of a live studio audience. It'll take forever. I already have one in the oven, ready to be shown and tasted by the audience. So what are we going to do? We know that we're working with a small deck. One of the risks was, that I forgot to mention, was that the card is small. Maybe the audience can't see it. We're going to use a larger deck of playing cards. We're also going to use a simpler approach to the trick to eliminate some more risk. And then we have an improved visual reveal that everybody can see. So let's do pick a card trick version number 2 based on these parameters. I see all the hands going up that they want to volunteer to come up on stage. This is amazing. Let's try to get a guy up on stage this time. How about you, sir, right in between those fellas there? Yep. Make your way around over here. And there's somebody at the curtains waiting for you to part them away. There you go. And come on up on stage. Let's give them a big round of applause. Stand right over here. If Your name is Alex. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, Alex, why don't you step a little bit that way, a little bit more? Okay, everybody's bigger than me here. That's quite amazing. Now, Alex, we are going to do the pick a card trick version number 2, and it's going to be amazing. Now, you don't have to turn around. I'm going to bring this around for you. We're going to use a drawing pad and a better visual, a larger deck of playing cards. Now, I cannot manipulate these cards in any way. They're just playing cards. They're just bigger. That's all. Can you see all the cards? Can you tell one card from another? Yep. What's the other? It's just an old vaudeville joke. Here we go. Now, all I want you to do is to place your finger on one of the cards, and don't move your finger. You got it? Do you want to keep that?
Yes.
You do. All right. Keep your finger on the card. Do you think you move?
Same one.
That's the same one. Okay. Okay, here we go. There, you got the card. Now I want you to look at it. I don't want to see it. Okay? Hold on to it. Don't show anybody. Okay? Hold it up to your chest. You got it? Now, this approach is a little different. I'm going to read your mind as best I can. I want you to clear your mind, Alex, of all thoughts. That was quick. I got a good volunteer. All right. Am I right so far? Okay, good. Okay, we'll come down here, and we'll come over here, and up here. Okay, I'm getting a sense of black. A singular card. A very important high up card. I think, if I'm reading right, the Ace of Spades. Look again. No, I don't want to see it, but just look again. Make sure. You sure you knew one card from the other? I know what the problem is. I've done standard work. Yep. I wasn't done. You see, your card is lost in the middle of this deck. So somewhere in here is the card that you chose. Not a very good selection or a very good suggestion, but if you watch carefully, with a little bit of magic, a card rises. Show everybody the card. The 3 of diamonds. Oh, and I have a little present for you. Look at this. No moving parts. You can keep that as a souvenir. And that's for you. Alex, you were great. Let's give him a big round of applause. Now, wasn't that illusion better? Yes, it was better. Can we make it better? I think so. But let's examine this trick. Now, when we look at it and we focus on what matters, we did the same trick twice. Someone picked a card, the card was lost, and then it was found in an unusual way. We eliminated risk. It's the same trick, but we had greater efficiency. We got to where we were supposed to go a lot faster. And that's cool. But I think if we dig a little bit harder in that last 2%, we can find another trick. So let's take a look at it. The larger deck was easier to read. We do know that. The drawing pad and the pen and just pick a card gave us a little less risk because I was in control. He didn't put the card back in the deck, so I didn't have to find it. He kept the card out of the deck, which made it a completely different trick. He couldn't change his mind because that was the card. I noticed that I kept the cards far away from him so they couldn't change his mind. Drawing the trick made it much more visual for everybody, and then tearing the card off at the end, the picture, gave him a nice souvenir. But we can eliminate almost all of it except the last part, and that is the grand reveal. That part we want to keep. But if we work on that last 2%, could we make that grand reveal even better? I think we can. Now, this leads us to step 3. We're going to fail fast, and we're going to learn faster. And then we're going to iterate. Now, I've done all of these steps, and I've researched high and low for the right trick to do this stunt, because what I'm going to do for you now is a stunt that you will remember your entire life. It's that cool. We're not going to use a deck. We're not going to get a volunteer up on stage, so we don't have the risk of anybody tripping and falling. We don't have the risk of somebody being too shy. And the only person left on stage will be me to absorb all of that applause, which is really what I want. So let's do pick a card trick, version 3. The last version, we're going to do it without a deck of cards. It's like, how are we going to do that, Stu? Just need a volunteer to stand up. You don't have to come up on stage. Let's see. There's a woman who's waving a card. One of the cards, she's got a white shirt on. Yeah, just stand up right where you're at. Hi. What is your name? Karen? Kiriwi. Kiriwi, is that right? Carrie. Carrie. Okay, there's a little bit of an echo here. So let's welcome Carrie with a big round of applause. Now, Carrie, you and I have never met before, have we? Then how do you know it's me? It's come to me like lightning. Now look, magicians gather in audiences like this all over the world. And we use a technique called IE, which is the imagination exercise technique to invent tricks. We bounce ideas off of each other, and it's kind of like improv. And at the end, we have a trick. And I'm going to do that with you. Does it sound like fun? Good. Here we go. Watch my hand very carefully. I'm going to produce for you a giant pack of playing cards at the very tips of my fingers using the imagination exercise technique. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Can you see the cards, Carrie? You can? Hey, we all want to party with her, don't we? Do anything. Okay, this is great. Now look, I'm going to toss a deck of cards to you. Please catch them for us. Make it look as real as possible. That's the only way this illusion will work. You ready? Here we go. Good catch. A little early, but a good catch anyway. Now take those cards and shuffle them up as if you were the greatest shuffler on the planet. Go ahead, mix them up. Some people are laughing because they noticed you haven't taken the cards out of the box yet. But perhaps the world's greatest can shuffle them inside the box, and that's cool. All right, you're using your imagination. This is good. Now take those cards and spread them out in your hand and look at them. Have you got it? Can you see the faces of all the cards? Are you playing with a full deck? Good. Now I want you to realize that there are no jokers in this deck. There are no instructions. There's no Hoyle. It's just the regular stack of playing cards, okay? That's what we're working with, 52 playing cards. I want you to take out one of your favorite cards. I won't look. Now, I'm going to turn my back to the audience, and when I do that, I want you to show everybody in the audience what that card is. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we've come this far, haven't we? All right, show everybody what the card is. I'm so excited. Has everybody seen it? Good. Now I want you to take that card, turn it upside down or in reverse, and put it back inside the deck. So it's the only card that's upside down. Square up the cards, then put them back inside the box, and throw them back up here. Good toss. Well, now that we have the cards in their physical state, I'd like to ask you this question. Have we prearranged this? No, we haven't. This is good. In a nice, clear voice, please announce the name of the card that you reversed in this pack, so when we run across one card that is reversed, we'll know it was your card and yours alone. Nice and loud so we can all hear you. The 2 of diamonds. Nod yes if that is the card that you just told me. The 2 of diamonds should be the only card that's reversed in this pack. Now look, this is the first time that we've seen the cards outside of the box. Notice how I can toss the box on top of the table without looking. That's professionalism. We're looking for one card to be upside down. She did this in her imagination. I know we're using a deck of playing cards, but we have to have something to represent her physical mind. And we want to make sure that one card is upside down. If you see one, just go ahead and holler. We got one? Oh, there it is. Is this what you did using your imagination? Ooh. We're going to cut as fair as I can to your card. Now look, this is the first time that we have seen this deck of 52 different playing cards outside of the box. One card was reversed in that pack. And that card just happens to be the 2 of diamonds. So let's give Carrie a big round of applause. She did great. See, magic's based on trust. Obviously, we haven't bridged that far. You want me to turn the card over for everybody? Got to be more specific. Give it up for Carrie. Give it up for her. Come on, let her hear. Give her some love. She did great. All right, we're coming close to the finish. Now, what I want to tell you is the real magic of continuous improvement is a relentless pursuit of finding what's wrong and fixing it, or improving something. No matter how small or insignificant it is, when you do it consistently over a long period of time, it can lead to extraordinary results. And that's why I am here today. I do the speech all over the country. And I cannot believe that I get a chance to do this in front of folks like you. And it's so exciting. Now we're going to do one more. Hold up, if you have a card, hold it up. And hopefully almost everybody has one. Okay, you're going to remember this because this is a trick that you get to keep. All right? Now this is going to be a great demonstration of standard work. Now, I've made a prediction in my mind before I came here. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but what I want you to do is I want you to start on any square, and you're going to move around 4 times. I'm going to count off 4 times. Ready? Move once, move twice, move a 3rd time, and a 4th time. Stand up if you landed on 5 Ys. Thank you. That's not very impressive, is it? Aha! I know what went wrong because I didn't follow standard operating procedures. We're going to do it again. But this time, I want you to start on any blue square. Now, if someone is sitting to the left or the right of you, I want you to make sure that you're not on the same blue square. This has to be random. There's plenty of blue squares on there. Just start on one. Okay, now follow these instructions. I want you to move left or right to the nearest yellow square. Left or right. Now I want you to move up or down to the nearest blue square. Now diagonally to the nearest yellow square. And here's the hard one. Move down or to the right to the nearest blue square. Keep your finger on that square. Stare at the genie. The genie's going to communicate with me. I have it. Stand up if you landed here on continuous improvement. Give yourselves a big round of applause. That's the magic of standard work. And look, a standing ovation. This is great. That's a cheap way to get a standing ovation. I understand it. But you get to keep that. Wasn't that fun? Well, thank you. Well, I'd like to make some concluding thoughts for you. All of you have the ability to create magic like I demonstrated here in the workplace. You do. Whether it's in road maintenance, road construction, logistics, people processes, as long as you are pursuing continuous improvement, no matter how big or small it is, and you do it consistently over time, you will have incredible results. But in the end, it isn't the best magic trick that's important. It's the transformation of a process or something that you're working on over time that creates great magic. And that's something each and every one of you can do. Thank you very much. I'm Stuart MacDonald, and I'm so proud to be here as part of your convention.